so funny. People want to book me to do that, to host their bachelorette parties. That would cost a lot.
Yeah, it would cost a lot.
Was there more than kissing at the after party?
Shh, we have to be quiet. Are y'all ready to have a good time?
This is a no judgment zone. I am not making anyone do anything they don't want to do. Well, hello, I'm back, and you know I'm about to speak on it.
I had already heard.
I can turn a shade tree into a money tree.
And so that leads to, it is a lot of questions in the interim.
Go ahead, shoot your questions off.
Well, because it's a lot of questions of, I see all of these different combinations. I see the Drew and Bolo is what they show on the camera. I see the part where at one point, Portia is like, somebody gonna eat this tonight.
Okay, nobody eat me tonight. One of you bitches eat me tonight.
And Shamia say something like, girl, you a whole bisexual.
Come on down and come. Oh, you a whole bisexual, bitch.
And I see and then I see LaToya and Portia. It shows a clear view, not a shadow of them making out.
See LaToya straddling Portia, and they were making out and grinding.
I remember kissing a couple people.
So all of these combinations are happening, and the audio is what's giving it. Like
The audio and
some of the stuff being said.
When Shamia was like, yeah, hump that thing, Drew, hump that thing. I was like,
what is Ralph thinking at home? Like, it was just those kind of moments where I was watching like, okay, this is yeah.
And then they got dang on Portia telling Tanya, come on, Tanya, it's your turn with Bolo.
She was
and
like,
she's like,
I can't do it. Yeah.
She's like, no, you
she's
ain't.
like,
No, you ain't. Yeah. So all of this was, okay, great. I'm like, this was a little scandalous, but you know, cool. Fast forward till the next morning when they show, you know, everybody getting up. All of a sudden, you know, people are starting to wake up in conversation, and Kenya's like, hold on. It was some noise.
Moans and groans, and I heard voices coming from the hallway.
she did.
And I was like, uh-oh.
So here's the thing. Okay, throughout the night, I mean, obviously, I don't want to reveal anything that's going to be revealed in future episodes. So the other stuff that will be revealed in future episodes, we'll talk about it as we get to it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about just what was revealed tonight. So basically, throughout the night, some people were there, then some people would leave and go to their rooms, then some people come back and they leave. To me, the first person to have left was Marlo.
Okay. So Marlo wasn't with the shits.
No. Marlo went back into that little room that she was mad about.
Okay.
So she was right there, but she wasn't in the room.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like her room was like earshot of the main room.
Okay.
And she's like, you know, if she came out her door, she could see whatever is happening right here, but she wasn't in the room.
Okay.
So I feel like, you know, she probably was the first person to leave and pretty much not come back in the main room, at least while I seen her. I mean, I guess she said she came back at a certain point, but I didn't see her at that time. At one point, Kenya ran upstairs.
Okay.
she said she kept like coming down to the top of the stairs and peeping down because it was so much noise. She wasn't
actively down
there most of the night.
And Cynthia went up also, right?
Yeah, after a while.
Okay.
But she was down there for a minute, so she got an eye full
Okay.
before she went upstairs. And so that's what she explained.
Let me tell you about last night. Okay, you left, but it was like, whop.
So what Drew was explaining was, Drew did go upstairs earlier in the night, but she came back down.
Okay.
So when Cynthia left, Drew came back.
Got you.
Boop, 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 bam, and faces in the booty, and the booties in the faces.
So that leaves a room full of auntie niece mix, because you're still down there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the nieces down there.
Toya was on top of her, and then Tay was on top of Toya.
It was like they was
And then Shamir was like waiting in the wing.
It was
But the auntie put together the whole party.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got
whatever.
that auntie that let them come over their house and drink and do
really?
all of that. So you that auntie, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you gonna say? That's what you gonna say.
You know, the next morning when the commentary, I'm like, okay, this is good. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? Because then they start to like, you didn't hear that?
Okay, so let's be clear. This is how, okay, we always say, like, even when we do the tour, anybody's go to the tour, I do this whole speech at the beginning of the night.
We have a few rules that we like to get understood from the very beginning. First is,
And I say, what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon.
we are here to have a good time. So that means this is a no judgment zone. If you are
And if you're here to judge, then take your ass home. I'm always, and even in this show, they show me saying, you know, I'm here to teach them how to live, you know, be their true selves, be who you are, whatever. So for me, why would I be here telling you, live your best life, be you, do you, whatever you want to do, but then crucify you for it?
I know, and I was with that.
So
I was with all of that.
And I try to do this pretty much not just what happened that night, but just period.
No,
and so that's why when Kenya started talking about what she heard after the cameras left, I was just like, oh yeah, allegedly. Well, no, that whole night was after the cameras left. All that stuff that they was.
But Kenya's talking about a span
She was talking
of time.
about something else.
A span of time
I ain't
that
talking
she
about
allegedly
that.
heard.
You and I are friends, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And we work together or whatever. But I want you to know that I am trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? So if you say things to me, like I'm not just trying to drag you when the camera get on in front of us.
No.
You know
I
what
get
I'm
it.
saying? Well, and everybody don't live by that code. This is just my own personal thing, you know? So I try. I mean, unless somebody push me and I feel like I'm defending myself, and then I have said things that, you know, wasn't in public or whatever. But if it's like on a blog or it's public news, then okay, yeah, we can talk about and discuss certain things. But if it's like something that like we were there for the conversation and everybody else wasn't there for the conversation, then I'm not gonna, you know, repeat it. If the cameras missed out on it, they missed out on it.
Gotcha. So
You know what I mean?
we hear that the cameras possibly missed out, and it's this questions of stuff, and Kenya starts that part. But, you know.
So it was a lot of things that were revealed to me on this episode.
Lie.
Well, what I'm saying is like, yeah, what people admitted to, what people said, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, if you admitted to it, then it's okay to talk about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Drew admitted to doing something. I didn't realize that Marlo admitted that she heard something in the kitchen as well.
Thrown.
I only thought Kenya was the one that was going around telling everybody.
So
but
that
I didn't
changed
know.
it for me. I'm going to be honest. That changed
Okay.
it for me. And it changed it for me because I was like, is Kenya being like, y'all did some more and dig in and push in them just to like see how far they was going to push back.
Mm-hmm.
But when Marlo said it, I was like, oh shit. Ooh, where there's some smoke, there's some fire. Because Marlo and Kenya don't even really talk until the moment that they had where they reconcile. So I realized that I was like, yes, so nobody can even say, yeah, Kenya's just, you know, trying to be nasty or rude. Or Marlo said she heard something coming from down that hallway also.
Right.
Were the walls thin in this house?
Yeah. These walls were thin. Okay, because I was like, you can hear a lot in that house, definitely.
So, y'all decide y'all gonna go still have a day. We leave some people at the house. Y'all go fishing. Y'all catch a shark.
Right. And Kenya doing a whole interrogation at the house. I didn't know that was going on. I mean, they said it when I came back that Kenya was interrogating people about the night before, but I wasn't sitting there for it. So this was my first time watching it. I'm like, oh, she definitely was interrogating that.
She was.
Tanya was like, Mom.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it was very interesting. So, okay, y'all come in.
No, this is the part that had me cracking up. When Toya come down and she's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't kiss anybody. I didn't do it. And they got a whole camera shot of her and Portia tugging on their couch.
And then later on, she was like, you know. And I think they clapped hands or something about it.
Yeah.
Because I think Portia admitted it.
We talk about him and you.
Yeah, I think
Portia
Portia.
said something about her having some of her juice, peach juice. Or a peach bottle or something.
You didn't kiss Portia. You might have kissed peach juice.
Oh,
Okay. So.
did she say that? Am I wrong?
You might have kissed peach juice.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about it. She said they made some little joke. They laughed.
Very insightful. Okay. We're gonna come back to it because then it gets to where I had some questions. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, go ahead. Ask your question.
Well, no, but before that, an insert that kind of was real time that kind of took away from what all of the craziness y'all had was Kenya and Marlo talking.
Oh, wait. No, you skipped past another insert. The insert when they showed exactly what time Bolo left. Well, I didn't know that they definitely had that angle showing Bolo leaving at 7 a.m. For those people who were denying Bolo was wherever people said he was, where are they trying to say he was at?
I was wondering the same thing.
Okay, so I just want to make it very, very clear. He was not in my room, okay? I was in my room. He was not, okay? And if y'all over here trying, because I know some of y'all is over, you know, people
they
be
gonna
over
eat you
there.
up in the-
They be
You
trying to be
can't-
detectives and whatever. He was not in my room, okay? So let's be clear on that note.
So who does he clock in and out with? Who hired him?
We hired
We
Bolo.
hired him.
Hello. And I was in communication with the car team and Bolo.
Okay.
So
We
we'll
will
talk about this
that
later in a later
because
episode.
It comes up later.
Later episode. We won't talk about this later.
Right.
But again, I was not on the trip, so I didn't know any of real talk in real life. Anything that happened that night, besides communicating with people dropping there, leaving there, I didn't know any middle part of it.
Right.
I didn't talk to her. I didn't know. Just giving some background. Bolo was supposed to leave Charleston, South Carolina at like 2 a.m.
Yes.
per my directions. So anything
Yes.
outside of that, I wasn't privy to until the next morning. I'm just saying that much. So figure it out from there. But just know he was supposed to leave
At 2
2 a.m. That car that you saw brought him there and it never left. That wasn't an Uber. That car was waiting. I'm just saying I knew
we
that much.
had to pay for.
So I'm just saying that much. But we'll talk about this later. But he was supposed to leave, so I
think
didn't
somebody
care.
owed me some money. Somebody owed me some money for that overtime I had to pay.
But before the insert, Kenya and Marlo, this conversation gave a whole new look into why Kenya don't work with her.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like when Kenya brought it up and they did those flashback, there was some like
Yeah, it was definitely some moments I'd be like, I'll never talk to you.
Basically, when she was like, y'all, when a person mama don't even want to deal with them, I was like, oh, I forgot she said that. You know what I'm saying? So when we had said previously it was a lot of hurt there, it was definitely hurt there on Kenya's part, and Kenya made a valid argument like, girl, I can talk about you. It's okay. You can talk about my skin. You can talk about my butt. But like, you went to a place, we're talking about my mama and talking about me going into motherhood where you like, ugh. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Where she gave an argument where I was like, I get why she don't really rock with her like that. Why she was like, girl, whatever you say, you garbage to me.
I definitely felt like they definitely gave some real serious insight on Kenya's feelings and why she feels that way. I feel like it's so many times people always want to look at Kenya as the bad guy, but then when they showed that, it helps you understand.
Definitely helped me.
Where she's coming from. What I will say is that I'm glad that they were able to come to some type of peace in that conversation. And so to see them be able to conclude that conversation, to be like, you know what, we're going to really work at trying to put the past behind us and move forward. I was happy about it.
I was, and that led way for Marlo to be like, yeah, I heard something, and that was news to me.
Of course someone else heard it.
Were the walls thin in this house?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I didn't know that Marlo supposedly heard something too, because Kenya was the only one that had been so vocal about it earlier.
Like even being there, I don't really remember Marlo saying that she heard what was going on.
Or supposedly.
Was allegedly happening.
I didn't see I heard stuff. I heard stuff.
In that room.
In that room.
And I wasn't there. So when I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is getting real. Like I was sitting there like, ooh, this just got different now. Hold on. Marlo just said she heard something allegedly too. Sideways, while they were having that conversation, we get into the other room with Shamia, I was about to say the nieces. Shamia, Tanya, and Portia. I was about to be like, we get into the nieces room. So we was having an auntie conversation in one room, nieces room in the other. We get into the nieces room, and they were talking. Shamia was talking about how Kenya was doing the interrogation. So it threw me off because the whole time, Portia, I thought that Kenya was saying Toya was there, but then she said Toya was exonerated, but she said somebody else was in the room, but I didn't get clarity who was in the room. Shamia said she was trying to say, y'all.
I got her trying to say you, her, and Bolo.
I was like, well, hold on.
Whoa.
I didn't know that. So that's when I guess Tanya got that from, because I didn't get that in what I saw.
It's just kind of like...
Well, what I will say is, I mean, obviously, they don't show you guys the entire conversations that happened. I mean, there definitely was something said at certain, I can't remember exactly what it was, to allude that it was Tanya in the room.
So I didn't know.
So, Shamia didn't just make that up.
No. I just didn't know where it came from because I was like, well, Kenya was still trying to figure out who was in the room. So when I got in there and Tanya was like, she's making this disparaging comments about, I was like, well, I hadn't heard it about you until you just said that. That's what I was thinking in my mind.
I think it was kind of like, it was, people were eliminating and trying to do the process of elimination of who was what at what time,
Got you.
And I think, it was kind of easy for her.
So when she said that, I was like, okay. Portia's like, well, hold on, girl, I'm single. So whatever allegedly they saying, I was here having fun, blah, blah, blah. She said the I'm single part, and I was like, interesting. And then Tanya was like, I have a whole fiance at home.
She does.
Like the facial expressions of the people, you gotta watch it. I'm sorry. If y'all go back and watch these facial expressions when they're even having this conversation, like Shamia's telling, she's like, Portia's like, well, what is she saying? It was very interesting to me. And then Tanya was like, it was very much like, okay, what?
Well, Tanya looked like she was trying to be serious though.
But it was like, what?
These are disparaging comments that she's making about us.
I was like, okay, this is getting ready to go left. And even Toya later coming in and being like, well, I see why people feel this way. I was like, she just flipped that on Kenya real quick. That's interesting. Not the girl you rode in on the jet with.
We landed with you.
Flipped it real quick on Kenya. Her ally, like her alliance with Kenya.
That manipulation.
How do you even feel about your friendship at this point?
Yeah.
So,
that was that manipulation.
So it was very much like, okay, weird. And I didn't, I wasn't there. So I'm watching this as a viewer.
Well, I think at the end of the day, people, they thought that they were safe to, you know, do whatever when the cameras was going to be down and that it wasn't going to come up the next day. That's what they thought. And so when it did come up, you know, that's when everybody was like,
yeah, the emotions you could tell started being like, hold on, and everybody became on guard. And then I guess it was the setup for everyone going downstairs. Which,
well, hold on. You totally skipped. Wait, I just really had to say this. We caught a whole shark on that boat. Now, mind you, they didn't show all the rest of that shit, but it took a long time to get that shark up there. Like, literally, y'all saw at first he was giving me the thing. They didn't even show me grab it. So I had to wind it for a while. Portia had to wind it for that thing was strong. Like, it was taking the life out of us to try to pull that thing up. And Marlo was the last one that was putting all
some of the commentary about that was a whole other thing.
About
too.
what?
When he was like, the shark. It's bigger than, I'm like, oh.
You know what? Let me just say this. That was a whole setup. You know, when they did my little interview thing, they were like, so, was the shark bigger than Bolo's penis? And I was like, well, yeah. The shark,
I was like, what?
The shark was definitely bigger than Bolo's penis. But I'm like, the way they played that,
Yes.
it just really came out like as if I'm sitting there getting real close-up view of damn Bolo or something.
Yeah, it was
One
two
more
moments.
time.
There was 2 moments where they did that.
It was that time and the other one when they asked me.
A lady never tells.
Well, because
I was like, what?
they asked me where room was he in, and I said a lady never tells.
But it
And
sounded
like
a setup, yes.
Yeah, it was definitely. No, to be clear, y'all. Well, I didn't want to give my opinion, or I didn't want to say, or get anybody in trouble by saying where Bolo allegedly was. You know what I'm saying? So when they asked me, I said, well, a lady never tells. I wasn't saying it like I was there. Okay, to be clear.
Y'all Sharon Stone Basic Instinct type of interviews that they were doing this whole thing, I felt like it was a setup even there. The one where Portia says she's not doing this, she pleads the fifth. I was like, what is going on here?
Hey, they said that she was the only person that didn't want to do the interview.
I was like,
well, apparently Tanya didn't either, because Tanya ain't showed up since we was in down South Carolina. I ain't seen her since. We ain't seen her. She ain't been on that damn filming since then.
It's just kind of like.
The funny thing.
I do have a question.
Okay, what's your
for
question?
For the both of you. Mm-hmm. Say you do go on a trip, whether they're filming or not. Mm-hmm. And the trip's only like 2-3 days. Would you wait for something like that, or would you just go ahead and just live life, especially knowing that, yeah, it's a show, but not everybody in that house might not like you, Don Juan, or like you, Candy. Like, if you had even one person in that house that doesn't like you, would you do something allegedly like hooking up? Or?
Well, I think the thing is, so many of them were participating in activities. Not saying the Bolo activity, but it was so much going on. I think people thought like, okay, well, everybody is doing something. I mean, it's so much conversation about what allegedly happened in this private room, but like we can't skip past all the other stuff that allegedly happened where everybody can see in the main room. Okay. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of stuff going on. Like, a lot of people were doing things that you would be surprised.
I would attempt to not do it on a trip with people that I don't trust, and specifically a trip where I know cameras are. I would definitely. I think I'm a little bit more like. Now, when the cameras go down, or the cameras are never been around, there might be a different story. Right. But I think I would be a little bit more inclined because I'm probably.
You would have been the Marlo of the group.
I think I'm probably like that in general. Like, even with us, like with the dungeon, I'm probably more like, what? No, what are we doing? Hold on, don't do that. I think that's my personality. So I don't know that I would have, but to each their own. I wasn't judging them. I'm just saying.
Right. I think, I agree with you. I mean, I wasn't trying to do shit in there because at the end of the day, I'm just in there like watching them have fun. I've already had a bad situation from the past one of my cast members, and I promised I was never again. That is never gonna happen.
And it gets to dinner, and then Marlo and Kenya come out, and everybody is like, hold on. They coming out with each other? Hold on.
It was surprising.
The mood totally switched.
Oh, it definitely switched. It switched for one person. basically. I mean, most of us were excited that, you know, to see these two women who've been arguing for years finally be able to kind of embrace each other and come to dinner together. When I tell you that Portia was 38 hot.
Portia is not too happy right now.
Can we bless the food and eat?
Yes.
Pastor P.
Like when you know what told me she was 38 hot? Let us pray.
Can we bless the food and eat?
I don't feel like praying.
I ain't in a praying mood.
Girl, you don't feel like praying.
Portia is not too happy right now.
And not I don't feel like praying.
Pastor Portia wasn't praying that day.
Pastor P.
She said, I don't feel like praying. I'm like, I'm gonna feel like praying, especially during these hot times. You know what I'm saying? Like you done already just went to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm just saying. I think you should pray right now. I would have never said I don't feel like praying.
Well, you know, she was in a bad mood, I guess.
So it threw me off that she said that part. The cameras did not help with the edit, and they're like, Jesus, take me to the higher ground.
First of all, shout out to Truly Original. They edited the hell out of this show. Okay, shout out to them because they definitely did a good job.
They pulled some detective work to be able to,
for sure,
to give you. I think they did a job without going over because I feel like it's probably some more things that they have.
Oh, I definitely feel like they're probably gonna come out the woodwork with some bullshit at the reunion.
This was definitely the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13 because it got real. We thought we was gonna have an in the pandemic kumbaya, all of y'all trying to live your life moment, but it switched up real quick, and I don't know. I think it definitely should be a mid-season trailer because I think
so?
What? I think from here on out, it gets a little interesting.
I don't know if I answered all your questions, but you know, you can drop them in the comments below.
Oh, they're gonna eat us alive. They're gonna swear y'all don't like none of them. I thought Toya and Portia and Tanya and Kenya was your friend, Candy. You fake and phony.
Yeah, I'm
and you
confused.
got him here just so he'll say that. They gonna swear.
I'll tell you what to say.
They swear that I just sit here and you can say this for me, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So
you
in the
grown-ass man, you say what you want to say.
Basically, I'm gonna say what I want to say, whether she was sitting here or not. Even on her own show, as when she was here she wasn't here last week. I was gonna say it. I'm just saying.
Exactly. It's cool because, well, it's not cool, but you know, some people who weren't friends have become friends. Okay, another thing. I can't really talk about it yet because I mean it comes up in another episode. But it's two people who actually were making out that I was shocked that they were making out. You gotta watch the after show for that because I think we talk about it in the after show.
So COVID need to open up so you know BK consultants and all can do some more.
Oh right. So listen, guys. If you would love to have a super fun bachelorette party, make sure you get a bedroom candy consultant because they can help you organize getting, you know, if you want to have a performer, or they can help you with the games to play and just all the little stupid fun stuff that you may not think of yourself. Get a bedroom candy consultant to help you with that. And I would definitely say you need to get you a swing at bedroomcandy.com. And you also need to get you some vibrating panties at bedroomcandy.com. You know what I want to say? I love the fact that all these years later, so years ago, the dungeon was a whole drama for me.
Yes.
It was a whole negative situation. I was super upset about it and all of that. But the fact that I was able to turn it around.
Clarifying that, because I see people say it sometimes.
What?
The dungeon itself, she is very much a woman all about liberation and being who you are. Mm-hmm. So the dungeon part of it itself, if she would have had one, she would have said it. That wasn't the angry part. We always have to clarify that. It was the things that come along outside of the dungeon that they tried to say.
Oh, yeah, that other bullshit.
That's what it was. So the dungeon itself,
yeah.
I think you've kind of always on like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So, I always told people like back then, whatever season that was, when that drama was happening, when they said that I had a dungeon and I was trying to take people to a dungeon. I never had a dungeon. It wasn't a real thing. It was a whole lie. And for those of you that still try to comment and say, well, maybe it was true, that was a whole lie. It was proven on the show that it was a lie, so please stop repeating that. I took something that was a lie and that wasn't true, and I just made it a real place that people could go to, and I made it a tour so that I could make money off of it.
Brandon 101.
Branding 101. You take something that people use to try to like tear you down and you make it a positive thing. And I'm laughing now because now it's something that actually Portia and I can laugh about it together and have this whole party and we all having fun there. I don't have a real at-home dungeon. At least not yet. Not yet, boo, not yet. I would say if I have to look at comments and say one thing that, you know, I don't like that you guys do is that I feel like people, maybe they watched the season, but they didn't watch the whole season to realize that some of that stuff was proven to be a lie. Okay? So make sure you're going to tell the truth, boo. Tell the truth. And don't be repeating lies, okay? I don't force people to do anything they don't want to do. None of that. You can see on the show last night, everybody was living their best life on their own.
On their own.
With that being said, thank you for watching. Oh, wait. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Okay? And thank you for watching. Speak on it.
I had already heard.
I can turn a shade tree into a money tree.